Chateau and Country Life in France by Mary King Waddington. Chapter 1. Chateau Life, Part 1. My first experience of country life in France, about 30 years ago, was in a fine old chateau standing high in pretty, undulating wooded country close to the forest of Villers-Cotterêts, and overlooking the great plains of the Oise. Big green fields stretching away to the skyline, broken occasionally by little clumps of wood, with steeples rising out of the green, marking the villages and hamlets which, at intervals, are scattered over the plains, and in the distance the blue line of the forest. The chateau was a long, perfectly simple white stone building. When I first saw it, one bright November afternoon, I said to my husband as we drove up, "What a charming old wooden house," which remark so astonished him that he could hardly explain that it was all stone, and that no big houses, nor small either, in France were built of wood. I, having been born in a large white wooden house in America, couldn't understand why he was so horrified at my ignorance of French architecture. It was a fine old house, high in the center, with a lower wing on each side. There were 3 drawing rooms, a library, billiard room, and dining room on the ground floor. The large drawing room, where we always sat, ran straight through the house, with glass doors opening out on the lawn on the entrance side, and on the other into a long gallery, which ran almost the whole length of the house. It was always filled with plants and flowers, open in summer, with awnings to keep out the sun, shut in winter with glass windows, and warmed by one of the 3 calorifères of the house. In front of the gallery, the lawn sloped down to a wall, which separated the place from the high road. A belt of fine trees marked the path along the wall and shut out the road completely, except in certain places where an opening had been made for the view. We were a small party for such a big house. Only the proprietor and his wife, old people, my husband and myself. The life was very simple, almost austere. The old people lived in the center of the chateau, W and I in one of the wings. Note: W here and throughout this volume refers to Madame Waddington's husband, Monsieur William Waddington. End of note. It had been all fitted up for us, and was a charming little house. W had the ground floor, a bedroom, dressing room, cabinet de travail, dining room, and a small room, half reception room, half library, where he had a large bookcase filled with books, which he gave away as prizes or to school libraries. The choice of the books always interested me. They were principally translations, English and American, Walter Scott, Marryat, Fenimore Cooper, etc. The bedroom and cabinet de travail had glass doors opening on the park. I had the same rooms upstairs, giving one to my maid, for I was nervous at being so far away from anyone. Monsieur and Madame A. and all the servants were at the other end of the house, and there were no bells in our wing, nor anywhere else in the house except for in the dining room. When I wanted a workwoman who was sewing in the lingerie, I had to go up a steep little winding staircase which connected our wing with the main building, and walk the whole length of the gallery to the lingerie, which was at the extreme end of the other wing. I was very fond of my rooms. The bedroom and sitting room opened on a balcony with a lovely view over wood and park. When I sat there in the morning with my petit déjeuner, cup of tea and roll, I could see all that went on in the place. First the keeper would appear, a tall, handsome man, rather the northern type, with fair hair and blue eyes, his gun always over his shoulder, sacoche at his side, swinging along with the free, vigorous step of a man accustomed to walk all day. Then Hubert, the coachman, would come for orders, 2 little fox terriers always accompanying him, playing and barking and rolling about on the grass. Then the farmer's wife, driving herself